Hello everyone, it's Animation for welcome back to some more Omnifactory. Today, we got more building to do already off the bat. We need another warehouse to house stuff coming up. And this has taken me like 3 days to figure out where to put this. Maybe not like non-stop 3 days, but you know, thinking about it for a while. We're going to go with right here. It is going to be a 10 chunk building. So the biggest we've done by far. We've done 2 8 chunks, taking up those 4, these 4, and these 2. So we're going to have like this really big 4x2 chunk space back here, and then we'll kind of interface with the building at the front, but we'll be able to like go in the back and see how it's all getting done kind of thing. I think that'd be cool. So we can have a nice looking front where we don't have to do much. There's a bunch of buildings here already that are kind of busted. Luckily, we know how to fix that. And it's not through explosions. It's with this thing. I do have to actually take out these top structures so that the first layer I do is on the surface. Otherwise, we'll be left with like an incomplete layer in the middle. So I want here. I'll take out a whole layer. You just keep moving down. And just like that, the building is basically gone. Basically. A little bit left to do still. Perfect. It's exactly how I want it. With floating spawners everywhere. Big empty space. Went with the zigzag. That's the base. We got space. We got so much heckin' space. And also a new round of horses, because there was a thunderstorm. So, inside, like I said, we're going to have 2 separate areas. We're going to have this area, which is kind of the management. This is how the item storage is going to be. Probably have some other little things here. I don't know quite what yet, but we have plenty of space in here. We got 2 tall and 2 chunks, 2 rooms, 2 floors tall. And then in the back here, we have a 2x4 chunk area that is 4 stories tall, where a story is about 6 blocks. That's what I've been basing it off, based off these buildings. So it's a big old space. And for this big old space, we need power and we need energy. So I ran some cables down this hallway. As you can see, it's a nice long hallway. Got all these cables here, and it connects up to this point here. If you can't see them, that's because there are none. And wireless. I figured out how to do wireless, finally. This should save on a lot of lag. I'm considering upgrading other things to use these also, just so we can reduce the amount of conduits everywhere. So we need 2 things. We need power and we need energy. We need energy and we need ME system. For the ME system, there's a wireless connector. Pretty straightforward. If I get a terminal and a Fluix cable and drop it on here, you'll see that this is connected up just fine. Boop, boop. After a little bit of lag, we have whole system access, including craftables. And you link them up with the wireless setup kit. This thing. You go boop, boop. And I have another one over here that actually does the transmission. Nothing fancy, just 2 blocks. Saves a lot of cable. The next is power. So for powers, we're using Draconic Evolution energy crystals. These took a bit of reading to figure out. There's actually 3 of them. There's 3 of them at 3 tiers. So you have relay crystals, IO crystals, and wireless crystals of basic, Wyvern, and Draconic. But we have the stuff that there's no reason to not do Draconic at this point. So the IO crystals and the relay crystals are in fact all you need. Eventually, you just need the IO crystals, actually. But the relay crystals will let you go farther. So we have an output from our main power going into a pylon. These have theoretically infinite throughput, so we're not limited yet. Going into this Draconic energy crystal, you see on the lower right that it is input into the system. right? And this has two links. I can identify the links. You see that they go that way and that way. And if we follow those, follow one of them, we will get to a relay crystal. A relay crystal. These have 32 potential links. So you'd send your IOs to these, and they'd be able to distribute them to many, many places. And that comes over to here. That relay crystal is then connected to this one. The wireless crystals are a bit harder to craft. Not much, but a little bit. And what they do is they get rid of the need to output into a cable system. So I could set up a wireless crystal and set up a machine that needs wireless and just connect them wirelessly. They have less links than a relay, but I think, no, more links than an IO crystal, but less links than a relay. So it's, I think, about like 8 or 16. So you could set up a wireless crystal here and have 16 CEFs and have all of them be powered by the wireless crystal without having to run the lines. And maybe. I haven't decided, but that's an option. So at this point, it's just a matter of deciding what goes where and making use of all the space. So let me show you how this is going to work. I'm just going to squish to the side here, and we can look at the big table that I have that contains all of the stuff we have to make. I want to start at the bottom, where there's things that only have one output. So we have HSS, S, electric steel, dark steel, europium, the 5 and power crystals, omnium, gallium, tungsten carbide, black steel. Those all take one thing. And I have them grouped into 4 each. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will handle all these. So for the first group of 4, we have europium, dark steel, electric steel, and HSSS. And those all need to make plates. So I'm going to make these look the other way, so they're all facing this way. But 4 fluid solidifiers with creative tanks on top, as you do. And in them, makes it really easy, if I have them on me, plate molds. So we just toss in the fluid, we get plates out. No need to worry about compressors on top of other things. No need to worry about items moving around. We just get plates straight out of this. That's it. Next, the empowered crystals. Those all need gears, which we're going to be using for stuff later. So, gear molds. Again, nice and simple. No need to send it into another machine. Anything that needs gears, plates, or small gears, we're just going to use fluid solidifiers. In this last one, we have plate, 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 gear, because there's a 5th gear here. So plate, 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 and gear. And more creative tanks will go on top of those. And then all their items will just be pulled out. Actually, I might reverse this around so the item pulling can happen in the middle here. Ooh, that'd be smart. I'll move that back once we kind of have walking columns. All right, I'm making this up as I go. It's fine. And I did decide to go with this wireless. So all I have to do is tap that, and this is full of power now. Look at that. These all have power. They're ready to go. Neat. All right, let me do some building and see if the whole plan falls apart. Electric steel is, I have no idea. I do need these. So the next ones, we're doing double ups. We could still only run 5 machines from a single CEF, or at least a single CEF X4. So we're going to pair up things that have two machines. The first being things that need to make rods. Neodymium and silver both need rods. Unfortunately, there is no rod mold. So, where are my lathes? Did I not make the lathes? Didn't make the lathes. A fluid solidifier next to a lathe. That's what that's gonna do. Then we have heavy plating, which actually I'm gonna upgrade from this wimpy little CEF to a higher voltage one. We're gonna go with, I think, LUV. I think that'd be fine. Because the heavy plating, specifically iridium and crystal matrix, I actually don't know what they take. It takes 1500, which is at the very least LUV, and crystal matrix heavy plating takes, you know, ZPM. Okay, then. We'll set this up as a ZPM. That's fine. And the last one is more miscellaneous stuff. And these are going to be quests too. I think this is the last one. The weird one. With original stuff. Or thermal expansion things. So strange. Please work. Oh, this is the gear. That's why it's not going. It's so much faster. If I were to do this with a compactor, it would take a singularity compressor on LUV 5 seconds. Yeah. This is 600 RF a tick. It's so much better. We do have to go through this. Ooh, that's not good. Actually, that one should be orange. All right. You do have to go through extruders to get small gears. We also have to go through big old powerful lathes and a big old powerful exploder to get rings. So neutronium's still expensive, but it's done. And that is all the things. It doesn't look like much, but every one of these cables is like specifically set up and it took forever. It's just not connected yet. I gotta go under and do the bit where I wire it all to the main thing. And then we'll be good. Yeah. Last step here. We need to put the items in the barrels, which will unlock the slots. So, let's just do that. Have to wait 30 seconds to open these. And just grab a stack of everything. So something I'm concerned about is actually power consumption. Not from the sake of we don't have enough power to run these, but these draconic wireless energy crystals have some form of limit. I don't quite know what the limit is, but there is a limit somewhere. When I tried to connect it straight to the ZPM one, it drained it. It was not able to support it. It needed its own IO crystal straight to the relay. So with all these running, we're going to have to see how that ends up looking. Okay, it is at less power, but it's holding it. Like it's just sticking at 56.5, bouncing around, but not generally going down. I think it's fine. I think it'll be fine. You just get all these cool particles. That's totally not going to cause lag. This should be the last of it. Neutronium plates, neutronium gears, small neutronium gears, neutronium rods, and neutronium rings. The only rings we're collecting. Toss this with the rods right there. Small gears over here. Big gears over here. And down with the plates. And that's it. That's the wall of theoretically unlimited resources. Looks nice and colorful. And here's the system running at full capacity. Although I don't have any speed upgrades on any of the extractions. Should be easy enough to add those as needed once we figure out what exactly we need a bunch of. But for the most part, we either don't use a lot of it or don't process it that fast. So I'm not too worried. There it is. I guess the last thing to do is to grab a storage bus and drop it on this thing and let the system be like, what have you done to me? Tell this. More and more lag. It's been growing pretty quickly recently. I'm trying. I'm using wireless. It should reduce it. Cool. So when I look up like foil, there's all our foils. If I look up gear, look at all those gears. And it just keeps growing. I also put in little what do you call them? Status upgrades. So it will show the level. So wire conductive iron, like I should look at the things that don't have any. Because that might mean I didn't get the extraction right. So I might have a little bit more to do. This does look pretty cool though. Yeah, so there's currently I already forgot the number, 3.7 million RF running through this this conduit. Nice. Finally a use for all this power we've been caching. Yeah, this is pretty good. Just in the time it's taken me to debug and turn on things that weren't on, like it's filled up a bunch. We got thousands. We're actually almost maxed of something. Wow, that's... Oh, because these gears only stack to 16. Right, so they're going to fill up a little quicker. Some of these were definitely pretty close, though. 32,000 looks like our limit is. That's pretty good. Also, these rounds. We have these auto-making now. But absolute pain before. Like, if I wanted to make a bunch of these pistons, it'd take like 400 of them. And that would be 20 minutes. So, now what? I don't know. I honestly didn't think this would work as well as it is. I guess I'm just going to try to make some stuff and see what's making it go slow. And go from there, I guess. How hard is a tier 7? We shouldn't actually have to craft that much. We'll see where it gets stuck crafting things. It's gotta make a few gems, a few of those things, some of those things. Gotta craft some leather. These stop. Glowstone elevation units. I need a list. Can I get a... Can I go in here? We need a list. All this is done. Glowstone 11 units. Those take a long time. So we'll have those be auto-made. They're probably going to be the last things to finish. I have been doing a bunch of 7 and 8s. There's 40 chaos shards. No dragons fought. We should have enough now for a 9 and 10 to get another Heart of the Universe. Let's put those into the system to autocraft. Despite everything we have set up, there is still something we don't have autocrafted yet. I'm not quite sure how to. It's this stuff. Crushed rhodochrosite. It is only obtainable through pyrolusite or redstone. So you need large supplies of the ores. You get this from the same thing you get dilithium from, so that's a plus, but you don't really get enough. You can get dense redstone to get a few stacks there, like 4 stacks, but I just went through 5,000 plus redstone. I got about 500, so yeah, it's kind of hard to come by. Luckily you don't need that much, but to get a Heart of Universe you need like 72. So this will get us like 6 of them. It's something to consider, but we don't need to worry about it immediately. There's something to think about. Not 100% automated yet, but pretty darn close. See what happens. These 2 reactor stabilizers should be the last thing I need that's not auto-crafted for the next tier 10 micro miner. Number 1 out of like 100 something. Oh, right, the solar panels. I was feeling a little low on power, so I made some extra solar panels, but we do have to submit 2 of them. Yeah, so we need about like 100 of the Hearts of the Universe eventually to create the final creative vending upgrade. It's a bunch, but this should get us on the way to the first that's not going to be turned into a tank. So what do we do with it? Well, there is actually a quest. First you have to do the Eternal Catalyst, which I believe I have. Yeah, it's auto-crafted, so there we go. It goes into the Infinity Catalyst. Are you ready to go infinite? Reinforcing Heart of Universe with chaotic cores, many piles of neutrons, and a bunch of Eternal Catalyst produces an Infinity Catalyst. Material is the core of most creative tier crafting recipes. Yes. This is where most of the Hearts of the Universe will be going. I don't think they actually really go anywhere else, except I guess the Rainbow Generator, which we do need to make 8 of. But mostly it's the Infinity Catalyst. It'll make an Infinity Ingot, this sword, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. They all take 1. Yeah. So what do we do with the first one? I'm guessing we're going to create a creative RF source with the first one. That's probably what they suggest. But we need to let this finish. I don't know why specifically a creative RF source. Maybe it produces like a ton of power and it's like all your power problems are solved. That'd be nice. It's not cheap, but it's very doable. And we eventually need to make 6 of them. Here we go. Lucky number 2. It has power. Power is not a concern this time. All right. New crafting recipe. Much more expensive one this time, but I'd still like to have it auto-crafted. Could be a infinity catalyst. So that'll use the heart of the universe. It'll also use 4 chaotic cores, which means 16 chaotic shards. Yeah. And also these pile of neutrons, which is just a nugget. Makes 9. Really cheap. Surprisingly. Amount of dragon hearts. That's a new one. Those would be tier 7s. Should be good. It does have a lot of stuff to craft, but mostly that's ultimate material. It's just gonna let it do its thing. Good thing we didn't have to do those by hand. There it goes. Well, it's got a big glow. There we go. So the next step, creative RF source and infinity ingot. A single block solution to all your power needs. 2.14 billion RF per side. Okay. I'm used to this one, which is like, I don't know how much this is, but I don't think it's as much. We're gonna do that. We're not gonna have power problems going forward. But we're gonna do that next time. Because this has been way too long. As I've been going through this, I've been building a to-do list of things that I need to automate because they're slow otherwise. And we have plenty of space over here to add more stuff. We're going to keep adding things. It's going to be a second floor. It's going to be great. We're going to have projectors. Oh, it's going to be a nice full warehouse of making things. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.